Well, hello everyone. Joe Hernandez here, and I want to take a few minutes to share with you about the power of unity. The power of the unity is so essential for us as believers because it really is working on our core. You know, in our world today, people are into working on their core muscles. I know a lot of times people now are working on mountain climbers and people are doing planks and they're doing TRX and various workouts that actually help our core muscles of our physical body. You know, and I love to do board sports, things like surfing and snowboarding and skateboarding. And in those kind of sports, the most important muscle groups of your body for balancing on a board is the core muscles. And so today I want us to strengthen our core muscles. So let's talk about the power of unity as we strengthen our core muscles spiritually. So in Psalms chapter 100 and verse 33, the scripture says, "Behold, how good." I want to stop just right there and I want you to think about the word behold. The word behold means from now on, see it this way. So from this day forward, whatever day that you're seeing this, from this day forward, let this be your reference. Let this be your perspective. Let this be the way that you see it. The way that we all need to see it is that unity is extremely important. So behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to get together in the spirit of unity. In the next verse, it goes on to say that unity, or the power of unity, our combined energy, it's like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down Aaron's beard, even like the oil that flowed down his garment. It goes on to say in verse 3, it is like the dew of Mount Hermon, the dew that descends from the mountains of Zion. And then here's what the scripture tells us so clear. I want you to hear this. I want you to receive this into your heart. This is the place where it says there, that place of unity, that place where we join together on purpose in one mind and one accord. He says, and there the Lord commands his blessing, life forevermore. Now I want you to imagine, for example, like when the Queen of England dubbed Elton John a sir, she takes a scepter and she touches him on the right and on the left shoulder. And then she declares a commanded blessing upon his life as he is pronounced a sir for the rest of the world to see. I want you to know that the Lord is blessing our church and your family and your life. And he dubs you on the left shoulder and on the right shoulder. And he commands his blessing upon the place of unity. I want you to know that unity is an ingredient that you carry with you. You carry it with you in the Carrefour. You carry it with you in Starbucks, or you carry it with you in the Costa Coffee. You carry unity wherever you go, on your job, in your family, when you're on the metro, wherever you are, you carry a spirit of unity with you. And it's extremely powerful because what it will do is it will cause God to bring his commanded blessing upon your life. I want you to see in Matthew chapter 18, the scripture says, for where two or three are gathered together in my name, he says, I will get right in the middle of them. So imagine if there's schisms and divisions and gossip and backbiting. The Lord's not really into that. But he says, if two or three of you will get into the spirit of unity, he says, I'll get right in the middle of those two or three who are gathered together in my name. Now listen, 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. And that's pretty powerful. But 1 + 1 + the Lord, it's immeasurable. It's invaluable. It's infinity. 1 + 1 + the Lord, getting right in the middle, is an extremely powerful force because there's a force of unity. There is a commanded blessing when God gets right in the middle of what we're doing. So let me end by saying this, the good and the bad and the ugly. I want to share with you 3 stories about the good and the bad and the ugly. The first I want to share with you is the good. The good. I'll never forget going with my brother-in-law and one of my dear friends when the San Francisco Giants were in the World Series. We tried for hours on our cell phones to buy tickets, but all the tickets were sold out. So then we just decided, hey, it's only a few hours away. Let's just go downtown on our metro, which was called the BART. Let's just go down there and we'll get tickets out on the streets. So we got on the train and we got our representing garments on, and we went down there and we found some tickets. One of us was on the second deck on the left side, another one of us was on the third deck on the right side, and another one of us got a standing room only ticket. But I'll never forget that game because the Giants were losing, and now it's the end of the game, and one of their players hit a home run over the fence, and it caused them to tie up the game. And the fans went crazy. The fans were united. The team was united. The staff was united. Everybody was united. You know what happened? The San Francisco Giants went ahead and they ended up winning that game. You know, we walked back to the metro station downtown on the Market Street, and all through the city, everybody was chanting, "Let's go Giants," all down in the metro, in the tube, in the tunnel, in the subway, all through the train, going back to the East Bay into Oakland. Everybody was chanting and cheering. And here's what I seen in the power of unity. Generally speaking, really rich people are not hanging out with people that are less than fortunate. But when the Giants won that game, there was so much unity in the Bay Area, in the area where we live. There was so much unity that poor people were high-fiving rich people. Rich people were giving hugs to homeless people. Black men were hugging white men. Women were hugging men. I mean, people were united. Everybody was giving high fives and fist bumps and chest bumps, and everybody was shouting and chanting in a spirit of unity because their team had won the game. And now the ugly. I'll never forget, as long as I live, when I first went to the Middle East in the United States Marine Corps. And we were getting ready to cross into Iraqi territory. And I'll never forget, as long as I live, looking into the eyes of some of my brothers and knowing, without them saying a word, by the looks on their face, by the pupils in their eyes, I could see the unity that was in our unit. And I could see so much that I knew that my brother on my right and my brother on my left, they were giving me a look that this is it, that they would actually die for me. Well, by the grace of God, we entered in and we brought great liberty to the country and the city of Kuwait, and we ended up winning in that season. But I'll never forget the power of unity when you go through something that is very difficult, when you go through a battle, when you go through a trial, when you go through challenging circumstances. What it does is it will create unity among family, among friends, when you go through challenging battles and various trials. And now let's talk about the ugly, the good and the bad and the ugly. The final story I want to share with you is when we were staying in some of our friends' house. You know, as people that are missionaries, sometimes we go to different churches and we're speaking, and sometimes we stay in different places. So we were staying with some friends, and we had been there for a couple of days, and so I kind of knew the schedule of everyone, but I wasn't so sure. And so I was getting ready to take a shower, and so I went outside the bedroom, and they had their dog that slept right outside the bedroom where I was. And when I opened the bedroom door, all I had on was a pair of shorts. And I didn't want everybody to see my massive pectoral muscles and my six pack. I didn't want them to see the gray hair on my chest. But the truth is, I didn't want anybody to see me as I was sneaking to the restroom. So I looked down the hall to the left, and I looked down the hall to the right, and no one was coming. But here's what happened. The dog came into the bedroom, and the dog had gotten behind me. And I grabbed my towel and all of the things that I was getting ready to get ready with, and my clothes. And then now I was getting ready to make a dash for the restroom. And I looked out again, and I looked right, and then here comes the teenage daughter right at the hallway. And so I backed up into the door, but here's what happened. That dog had gotten right underneath my feet. So all of my stuff went in the air. I flipped over backwards and I turned around and I landed right on the bed. My wife was sleeping there and she was thinking, what is your problem? What are you doing? But what she doesn't know is I banged the door and fell over backwards and dropped all of my stuff, because here's the thing. I'd made a decision. I'm going to go to the restroom. And then right at the last minute, I decided I'm not going to the restroom. And so as I backed up, it caused me to end up falling because that dog was between my feet. And here's what the scripture says. A house divided against itself will not stand. I want you to make a decision that you're going to stay united in your family, on your job, and especially in your church. Listen, I love you so much, and I believe that you're getting something from this. All right, that's good for this, because I want to be able to show that even in the future for people that are joining with our church. Is that okay?